Hello, 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 greetings, 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 hello, 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 thank you for the raid, hello, welcome everybody. My throat is not great from con crud and from also like yapping extremely excitedly, so I might try to remember the fact that I'm actually just in front of a microphone in a reasonably treated room with a bunch of like very nice nice kind of like, you know, fixtures here, and it turns out that I can speak at a completely normal tone of voice next to this microphone and not blow out my I literally don't need to be shouting into this microphone. I mean, like, you can still hear me, I think, pretty decently loud and clear. Like, I do not need to be shouting into this microphone for you guys to hear me. It's I think what went on beforehand, I think what has been going on beforehand is that I've had this kind of thing where okay, you know how like you do mirror neuroning, right? And you know, except when you're streaming, you don't have another face to like mirror neuron off of, so you can't actually adjust your like energy and volume level to anybody. And so what ends up happening, I think, in streaming sometimes is that your brain just amplifies all of the because you have nothing to bounce off of except yourself. You end up getting into this like weird feedback loop where you just dial it up to like 27 and then you end up screaming into a mic, like when you're actually just physically in a room by yourself and there's literally no reason to scream into a mic, right? Like, it does not help to like yell into a microphone in a silent treated room. Like, yeah, like like actually look, I've done the EXISTATHON for 2 days, but I promise that I will be doing the EXISTATHON on a third day as well. And thank you for the 41 months of existence with me. I'm sorry that I have not been existing nearly as much as I could be during that time. I mean, we're past the ad break, so I might as well start existing in front of you guys. So hello, welcome. I'm existing now. I'm trying to exist more quietly in order to save my voice, and also the fact that like this is much earlier in my in my day-night cycle than this is normally. I literally got up like an hour ago and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get like the sloppiest sub you can possibly imagine, and it's actually really good. It's really good. Did I lose my voice? No, but I don't want that to happen, so I am being cautious because I still have lingering off-kai con crud, and I do not want to lose my voice on day 2 of what is supposed to be like a, you know, an EXISTATHON where I stream every day for days. And again, I do want to commit to the fact that this is not going to be, I'm not promising any particular type of quality stream. I'm just promising I will touch internet grass, which is the exact opposite of like actual grass. Well, yeah, they rhyme, I don't know. I'm gonna touch internet grass and like go live on platform. For the time being, that is going to be Twitch. I think it's definitely going to be at least YouTube. You know, the only way I would like modify that is if like let's say they have like some sort of like non opt-out like AI training thing, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, if I cannot, if people decide in mass as like, oh no, like Twitch is, we're not doing it, we're not VTubing on Twitch anymore, like then I might go. But yeah. Ah! Do I sound like I'm being bullied? Am I bullying myself? Why am I being bullied? You're off-kai? I'm being bullied by a virus. I'm being bullied by an iris at off-kai. Yeah, no, if they don't have opt-out, then... If they don't have opt-out, and if, like, people decide that it's not essentially, like, an... Like, if there is a widespread battle against the platforms, then I won't, you know, I won't compromise my principles to try to like be still on here, but I will continue to stream and I'll do it on YouTube, and I guess we'll just have to do it over there. However, barring an opt-outable kind of thing, barring like a mass platform revolt, I'm gonna basically try to see if I can be here for every day, and I do not promise any quality bar, although quality is a weird thing. Specifically, I am going to see Skyline Serenade in New York next month. Well, no, this month, actually, like in 3 weeks. And I think for the days that I'm there, you might get some streams from New Jersey where I'm just howling in the woods for like 3 minutes into my phone. And I will technically be live, but I do not promise that the amount of curry that you'll get over the period of travel is going to be particularly anything, especially because like I'm going to literally be on a train. I've already booked one of the slowest and most ponderous trains to go from Toronto to New York. I will be on the Maple Leaf, which is quite fun, right? I will be doing a cross-border train. We're going to be Mad Maxing this, except like, you know, much nicer and like with public transit and with like a whole bunch of like public infrastructure, which is like not actually Mad Maxing at all. It's actually pretty well the opposite of Mad Maxing. So I don't know why I said it. So yeah, no, we're gonna be, I got my ticket punched from Toronto through to the middle of New Jersey, and then we'll be like howling in the New Jersey woods. And then I can finally live up to the ancient Wikipedia vandal that was like, I will sue you in a court of law in Trenton, New Jersey. That's the thing. I do think screaming into a phone for 3 minutes is actually a high quality stream. Mad Max would be better with public transit. I mean, okay, so the question is really, how much, I can't even remember the name of the guy, like big skull guy, big like kind of evil massive skull guy. It's like at some point does the weird warlord in the desert who controls all the water, ultimately that guy's a government, and then, you know, if he's a government and he has his like war boys on the rigs, like at some point those rigs just become public transit. Right? Immortan Joe. Yeah, Immortan Joe. At some point, Immortan Joe is just the Prime Minister of Australia. And it just becomes public transit, right? Like, it would be very funny as if, like, you had a train, but it was a war rig. And I guess that's just the plot of Spirit Tracks, Zelda Spirit Tracks, so. You went to SoCal on a train once? I think the longest sort of, like... Actually, this is probably incorrect. I think I've taken... I'm trying to remember what is the most train I've taken on a single day, and it might be Tokyo to Hakodate, but I'm not entirely sure. It's either like Tokyo to Hakodate or like Tokyo to Fukuoka. Because I've done night train from like Tokyo to Sakaide, so that's been a long one. Oh yeah, well, okay. I've done a lot of long trains. I've done night train from Dusseldorf to Innsbruck in Germany and Austria, and that was like before a segment where I went from Amsterdam via Essen to Dusseldorf. So like if you add up all of the train that I did that day, it was like Amsterdam, Essen, Dusseldorf, get off in Dusseldorf, hang out like for a short period of time, have one I basically had enough time to have like one meal of sulangtong, like the Korean thing, and then I learned so much about German cuisine from that, right? Thank you guys so much for the hype train, by the way. And thank you for the water, which is actually going to be Bark's root beer. So here's the trick, right? If you're in a new country and you want to learn about their cuisine, my trick is to just eat the imported cuisine of some food that I'm extremely familiar with, but has a relatively low cultural profile in that country, right? And so like Korean food in Dusseldorf, right? Like you eat Korean food in Dusseldorf and then you're like, huh, they make this interestingly brothy and like sort of like smoky in a way that I would never see in like Korean food back home. Like, so it's like they've Germanized this food, and then you can tell like what's the difference between like baseline, like, you know, Korean food in like a place where basically if there's a giant domestic audience for that, right? So I think like Korean food in Toronto tastes like extremely similar to what Korean food in Korea tasted like in the 90s, right? And it's like it's been sort of like anchored a little bit because it's not exactly like, you know, most of the diaspora comes from like that period of time. So you get like this kind of like what I call the Quebec effect, where it's like you have like a big like diaspora of a place like goes to some other place, and then they have a food culture that like, you know, fixes itself, or like a, you know, linguistic culture, right? And so like, you know, I knew what sort of like the baseline like Korean food, but like if you have even fewer people in an area who can like, you know, who want the authentic taste of the food, then you can go there and then they will like, you know, Americanize the food or Germanize the food or whateverize the food, or like, you know, what's really fun is like the Japanized foods, like in Japan, like you go to Japan and you see like, okay, what tastes do they put in food that is not like particularly, you know, domesticized like in Japan, to be like, okay, this is the Japanese version of like this particular cuisine. And then you learn so much about the tastes that people like in that place. So it's like, oh fuck, like, you know, this is like the ultimate way of like understanding the German palate is to like drink the Korean like bone broth soup that I've been having the entire life. Yeah, corn pizza, right? It's like okay, well, okay, you have this kind of particular thing, like they don't like this particular kind of like sweetness, like, you know, there's like a sort of insipid like sweetness, right? The other thing is like, I mean, the ultimate example is like American Chinese food, right? Like, you know, it's like covered in like, you know, you just drown it in like some sort of like corn syrupy, you know, gravy thing, right? Like, you know, it's very easy to like see it there. It's like you just drown it. Like General Tso's chicken obviously is like a huge thing of this, right? Where you take it to the place that like General Tso is from, and then they're like, what the fuck is this? But it like tells you so much about the American palate, right? It's like, you know, they just love smothering shit with syrup. You know, American like orange chicken, you know, that's like, it's just drowning in random sauce. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. It's like, all right, like, what do you want to eat? All right, well, we like, you know, we like things to be cooked and drowning in sauce, and then like the closer, like the more prestige that the cuisine gets within the particular culture that it's in, the less it just becomes like, you know, the more it like asserts its own independent thing, and the more people like value having it be similar to the place where it's from, and so the less you actually learn about it, right? The rice gravy omelet, the funny thing is, like, whenever I had the rice gravy omelet, it's like, I think it's like Japanese origin, the omurice you're saying. I did grow up with them as a, you know, Korean, you know, person, like living, you know, in a non-Korean place. Like I was given the omurice a lot. However, my grandmother was, in a strictly geopolitical sense, born in what was then the Empire of Japan, and was like kind of raised to have a Japanese name and learn Japanese, and is extremely fluent at it. So fluent that she passed the JLPT1, I think, at the age of like 70 something. So I'm not going to argue that like the Korean version of the omurice that like made its way down to my palate when I was growing up is not particularly Japanese, but I addendum that I would make to your rice gravy omelet thing, it's when I was growing up, it was with ketchup. So like you just like fry a bunch of rice, cover it in this omelet, and then like draw a ketchup smiley face on top. And then because I don't want to eat a ketchup smiley face because it's like too horrifying to like eat something that has a face on it, I just smear the ketchup all over the place, right? Like it's just reminding you of Southern sausage gravy. If anybody is like getting hungry because of this conversation, that's not a terrible idea. I think there's a whole bunch of places around in the world where it's actually a reasonable time to eat food. Actually, wait a minute. Come to think of it, I don't know. Wait, what's the where is it a good time to eat? I guess on the West Coast it would be like 2:30 in the afternoon. You know what, actually, yeah, America is mostly between lunch and dinner. And then yeah, I'm gonna smash the face. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Phoenix Sage. It's dinner time here. Wait, are you Brazilian or are you Newfoundlander? Maybe you're Newfoundlander. I guess 5:30, 5:20 is a dinner time for many people. East Coast US? I don't know. Is 5:20, is that dinner time for people? I feel like dinner time like starts at 6, you know, I don't know. I feel like the earliest time that like they're like this varies from person to person, but I feel like 5:20 is like, you know, the workday ends in the sort of like traditional sense at 5, right? Like, and then so Europe has it between 3 and 6 p.m. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. No, that makes sense. I guess the thing is, if you're not doing a traditional like 9 to 5 workday, then like having, and actually even then, like maybe you just like grab dinner immediately after you clock out. And so like 5:20 like actually does make sense for some people. Let me see. I think okay, I'm gonna say the most kind of like ridiculous, so back when I was at the, so back when I was at Google, there's like one cafe that opened for dinner, and it was, I think it opened around 6, and I think it was open until like 7:30 or something like that, right? Like, yeah, most people start work at 7 or 8. Yeah, okay. If you start work earlier in the day, if you commit more violence against night owls like me, then yeah, I think the dinner time makes sense to be earlier, right? Okay, the question is, when you eat lunch, do you eat lunch at like 11 or 10:30? Do you have a breakfast? Like how many meals a day do you have? What's your okay, post schedule, everybody. I want to know when you wake up, when you start work, when you eat your meals, when you have breakfast, when you have lunch, when you have dinner, how many other meals you have a day? Do you have a siesta? You know, do you go to sleep? Do you, do you have a brunch? Do you have a breakfast? Like, you know, what kind of food do you eat on it? Does it have syrup? Do you have is it a sugary meal? Is it a meaty meal? Like what kind of, like, is protein, sugar, carbs, whatever? What's your social security? Can I, okay, you guys are chat, so therefore it's completely valid for me to trauma dump on you. One of my most like insane traumatic experiences was sorry, this is like 30% a joke, but basically like I got dragged out to like rural Pennsylvania by my mother, and I got dragged out to rural Pennsylvania to my mother to go like outlet shopping at Ann Taylor Loft. Like she was trying to buy some stuff, and then like they offered her. So this is not the super traumatic part. The traumatic part is that, I mean, we were all Canadian, right? We didn't. I mean, I'm now American too, as I did my naturalization stream last year or whatever, and so I have a social security number. I have like American bank accounts, whatever, right? But at the time, we're just Canadians, and so the horrifying thing that happened, right, is that we went to rural Pennsylvania. She rang up a whole bunch of stuff at this like completely deserted like Ann Taylor Loft, and then they offered her the store credit card for a $5 discount off of her purchase. And then she was like, I need to get this $5 discount off of my purchase. And then she doesn't have a social security number. She has a social insurance number, which is a 9-digit number. The Canadian... Okay, the weirdest fucking thing is that Canadians, they don't have a social security number, but they have a social insurance number, which is basically exactly the same, like in terms of its function within Canada. And also, like, all of the coins, like, are the same size as the coinage in the United States, so that they can actually, like, fit in the same, like, you can use a Canadian quarter to, like, in a American vending machine. And so, no, it's not even that she was trying to open a line of credit. It's that we sat around for, like, hours while the cashier was trying to run things back and forth with the headquarters to try to see if there is some way to like allow her to open this credit card, because she doesn't have a zip code, right? She has a postal code, which is a completely different format. And so when she gave the address, right, like, they were trying to figure out a way to extend her credit, even the fact that like she doesn't have a social security number. So the number that was like entered into this, and I was trying, she would not listen to a word, right? Like, that's the thing, right? Like, the horrifying thing, and we're, and first of all, like, this is not my liability, and second of all, we're like vastly beyond the statute of limitations for this. And also, like, she was so incredibly like ignorant of this thing that she had zero mens rea. This was not like, she had no fucking clue what she was doing. Even the fact that I was like telling her that, like, no, stop, please stop. But like, somebody she put her social insurance number on the application, and I was like telling everybody the entire time, this is not a social security number. This is not a social security number. This is not a social security number. You don't have a social security number. You definitely don't have a social security number. You cannot actually apply for this line of credit. You don't qualify to apply for this line of credit. You don't have a US address. You don't have a US zip code. You don't have a social security. She got issued the card somehow. They called after like hours and hours of like going back and forth with headquarters, they somehow managed to like kind of I think they put the zip code of the store, and they put her social insurance number as the social security number, and they issued her the fucking card. And she got the $5 discount, and then like, months later, they were trying to like call to collect on the thing because she had no way of paying off the card because she has no American account. And then it's like, well, she used it for you had to use it for the purchase that you do on the thing. And then like, we eventually figured out some very expensive way, I guess, to, wire them do you internationally wire them the, $80 purchase amount and close the account so that like we would just it was awful. It was the entire thing. And I was like stuck there for hours while she was attempting to do this, like literally over $5 on a store that had no Canadian locations. So she couldn't even use it in Canada. Like, she couldn't get at the time they had no local locations. So the only theoretical thing that she could use, but it's a negative credit score against somebody else's fucking somebody else. It's not a negative credit score against hers because she has no identity in the US. It's somebody, some person who is like, somewhere, you know, who has a social security number, maybe, who has the same... I don't know how the fuck this got issued. What the fuck? They're 9-digit numbers, pastry. They're just 9-digit numbers. That was the fuckery that, like, got this in the first place. And this is the thing, but somehow she was able to get over the fact that, like, Canadian postal codes are, like, letter, number, letter, number, letter, number. And this is not my friend. This was my mother who dragged me as a teenager to rural Pennsylvania to shop at an outlet mall for a tiny discount and probably spent so much time in gas. Spent so much money in gas. Like this was like a 4-hour trip, I think, each way. And this was the only thing that we did all day. And it was because, like, she was trying to save by going to some outlet mall. Okay, let me actually, like, look and see, like, what the trip was, because this was like, all right, how far is it from, Jesus. Okay, this was Grove City, Pennsylvania. What is the driving time from Toronto, Ontario to Grove City, Pennsylvania? This is a 5.5 hour drive. Well, okay, by Queen Elizabeth Way with tolls, it's like 4.5 hours each way to shop for clothes at a small discount. Yeah, it could have been Buffalo. What the fuck? Why would you go all the way to Grove City, Pennsylvania? Buffalo exists? Yeah, Buffalo exists! I don't understand! Buffalo exists, it's right there! It has outlet malls! What the fuck are you doing? You see why this is like a formative, insane memory for me, right? Like, it's like, what the fuck? Why are we in Grove? Why are you driving your 16-year-old, like, to 4.5 hours to save $5 and, like, sort of commit inadvertent credit card fraud and, like, ruin some random, you know, American's credit? What the fuck are you doing? Sorry. Jesus Christ. This is the kind of shit that makes you want to become a VTuber. This is like, existing twice is allowed. I don't. Why would she do this? No, that's the thing. This was like, what is it, 20 years ago, I think, right? Like, I'm old. This was 20 years ago. And so it's like, you know, gas was like, how, like, yeah, gas, like, the cars used more gas back then. Like, this was not on an EV, right? Like, I have a friend who has an EV who got a 2-year charging deal. Yeah, I have a friend who bought an EV like about 1.5 years ago and got a 2-year, like, you know, free charging deal, which I think is just they throw in as an incentive, and is like has been using it to basically take like camping road trips across the entire like United States, and so has been like charging for free for like some insane amount of mileage, and there's just is like save something like $20,000 worth of like free EV charging in like 1.5 years from just like just basically Mad Maxing it like the entire time, right? Like just like, oh yeah, okay, cool, I'm in Missouri now. Oh, I'm in Vermont. Hey, you know, I'll just do a road trip from like a forest in Nebraska over to New York for a concert, and then I'm gonna drive over to like Minnesota, and then over to Idaho, and then we're gonna like I'm gonna check out some campsite in New Mexico. Yeah, this kind of like lifestyle, right? Like just like going all over the damn place and like just saving, just extracting just an incredibly like insane amount of money out of this like free EV charging thing. But this thing 20 years ago, that was like, we were paying for gas, and I was like mentioning this the entire time, even before this like insane credit card thing happened. I was like, you realize you're not saving any money on this. Like, there's no conceivable way you could save money on this. Like, I'm it was basically like, and I was completely and utterly like unheard the entire time, right? It was like, it just I know this is like a core trauma memory. It's like the time when I was like dragged for like and like 16 hours was just this, right? It was like a 4.5 hour drive there, a 4.5 hour drive back, and then like I shit you not, I think I timed it. It was like something like 5 hours of negotiating to try to get a credit card that was not able to be gotten for like a $5 discount. And then I spent like, I think I spent at least like 2 or 3 hours like afterwards to try to, months later to clean up the mess of this like credit card that had been issued erroneously, right? I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. I don't know why. Like, it's like all this pain could have been avoided if I had just been listened to. And also, like, I don't think she thinks that anything went wrong in all of this. I think she thinks that the entire thing was fine and actually good. Yes. So, yeah, that was a whole thing. That was a thing that happened. That was a weird formative experience. All right. Oof. Yes, this is why Meat Space will betray you, and this is why you need to become VTubers, because it turns out that you don't need to drive 4.5 hours to Grove City, Pennsylvania, when you can appear via robot in San Jose, which is not what I did. I actually did just fly over to San Jose, but you went nom 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 nom. Nice. I appreciate the nom 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 nom. Also, Tohu, what are you thinking of me? Also, thanks again for the hype train. And also, I need to go back and check everybody's oh, thank you for the glug. Okay. Oh yes, you did DM me a shrimp thing. Hi, Care Bros. Hello. Welcome to Weird Afternoon Kari. I'm gonna be here much more often these days. What is the timing? What the polls? Hold on. All right. Okay, so 6 to 7 dinner. 7 dinner. Okay. I'm so mad, by the way. My my Offkai badge number, which sticks with you forever, is 66. It's number 66. So for all time, if I buy at least until they change the registration system, but if I continue to go to Offkai, my badge number will stay 66 because it's so close. It is so close. Yes, execute order 66. The funny thing is that because we bought the tickets at the same time, I actually know I know the person who is Offkai badge 67. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hey, by the way, you should look at your badge number. Thank you for the 41 months. Trim is returning, but Trim is returning a lot. Trim is gonna be here a lot. I'm gonna be here I'm doing an EXISTATHON, and therefore, the whole point of an EXISTATHON is that I'm going to continue to exist, even if it's like, you know, screaming into a phone for 3 minutes while I'm on vacation or vacation trip. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, your badge number is the number of months in the yeah. You're 41. Okay, like Turi has like one of the lowest badge numbers that of anybody I've seen. By the way, if you're a panelist or a guest or whatever, they use separate like numbering schemes. So like anybody who like had their badge comped or yeah, anybody who had their badge like comped or is a panelist or is a guest might have a badge number that is not just the general like kind of standard weekend badge, which is like kind of interesting too, right? Because my original badge was a panelist badge. Oh, also this numbering system started from Offkai 2, right? My Offkai 1 badge is like a giant number because they just kind of did a random like 9-digit number or something like that. Which you should not use to apply for a credit card in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Do not use your Offkai 1 badge number to apply for a credit card in Grove City, Pennsylvania. I cannot stress this enough. This is a terrible idea. Do not use your Offkai 1 badge number to apply for a credit card in Grove City, Pennsylvania. It is a bad idea. Do not do it. But yeah, so from Offkai 2, basically I had so much fun at Offkai 1 that I was like, oh shit, I gotta apply for Offkai 2 as soon as possible. And I guess Turi had the same idea, but better than me. And so, so me, my friend, Turi, all decided to be some of the first people to apply for Offkai 2 badges. The person that can get a credit card off an Offkai badge, yeah. Why would you do that? Why would you apply? Why would you apply for a credit card in Grove City, Pennsylvania using your Offkai badge? I don't know. Why would anybody use an arbitrary 9-digit number that is not a social security number to apply for a credit card in Grove City, Pennsylvania? I wonder why somebody would do that. I don't know why somebody would do that. That would be a very bad idea to do, and nobody should do that. And nobody should like drag their 16-year-old on a 4.5-hour road trip each way, so 9 hours total, and then spend 6 hours like, you know, with a cashier that has nothing else to do, like on the phone with corporate, in order to like somehow figure out a way that you can like compress a, you know, a Canadian postal code into a zip code in order to apply for a credit card, and probably like cause some randos like, you know, credit to take a hit because of this like random neglected credit account in Grove City, Pennsylvania. I'm perfectly normal about this. Okay. Have I gotten out of my system? No, but thanks for asking. It was a lot. So why would you fucking do this? Yeah, I know. Did you hear the full context of this? I think you came in right after this rant, but like, no, you have no idea? Okay, when I was 16... Okay, long story short, because I did say it, yeah. My mother, like, when I was like 16, dragged me out to Grove City from Toronto, which is a 4.5-hour drive, because she wanted to get some deals at like Ann Taylor Loft, which didn't even exist in Ontario. Just from she actually didn't have Ann Taylor Loft as the idea. She just like wanted to go to some random outlet mall, and then, you know, went shopping there, and then applied for the store credit card for a $5 discount, and was trying to apply with her, like, you know, and somehow got it issued with her social insurance number, which is not a social security number. So that's what happened. You should have used an RNG generator. It's so fucked. It's so fucked up. Yeah, and then they're just on, like, it took 5 hours to get approved because they were like trying to figure out what to do with her Canadian address. Meanwhile, the entire time I was like yelling at everybody involved. I'm like, you cannot do this. You do not have a social security number. You cannot apply for an American card. This is not the like. I felt like the normal guy in that episode of The Simpsons where they had like Homer's Enemy, that episode where it's like everybody else was like operating on insane Simpsons logic, and like, you know, I was just like, I was like, okay, well, I guess you can get a credit card issued off of like a random number, 9-digit number, and then a name that doesn't match that number, and the zip code that doesn't exist. And it's like, what? All right, I guess so. Ugh. And then it was like an enormous pain in the ass to do an international wire to pay off the thing. So, yeah. Speaking of random cities that are, you know, vaguely southwest of Toronto, did you know apparently the global oil petroleum industries like started in the town of Petrolia? Was it Petrolia or was it up the street? But it was basically like in southwestern Ontario, like northeast of Detroit, right? The global oil industry, the first registered petroleum company in the world, was apparently in Oil Springs, Ontario, which is I think a village of 600 people, I think. 647. Oil Springs, Ontario. North America's first commercial oil well. Thanks for global war. Yeah, like we sent you our wildfire smoke, and we've also sent you the global oil industry, the global petroleum industry. And we've also sent you Justin Bieber and also Hawaiian pizza. Thanks. I'll be expecting your thanks in the mail world. I'm really like talking down Ontario, aren't I, right now? It's like actually also we had Rob Ford, the crack smoking mayor, Rob Ford. What other incredible Ontario things have what other sort of intense like Ontario things have we created? Is Nickelback Ontarian? Hold on. No, they're Albertan. Okay, well, fair enough. That, you know, that checks out. Can you return me and get 2 pizzas? You have a prime minister who pooped himself in a McDonald's? We have a prime minister who pooped himself whose name was McDonald. Actually, we have... he was actually, like, really quite a drunk. In fact, he was the first guy. John A. Macdonald was the first Prime Minister of Canada. And so, you know, I assume, just, you know, given his whole deal, like, he probably pooped himself at least once, and that is technically pooping him in a McDonald's. No, but, like, he was, like, extremely wasted. He was, like, horrifically wasted. Like, okay. Like, this was like, he was like massive levels of like, this guy is like fucked up wasted, right? Like to the point where it's like, oh, well, you know, I guess we would like try to make like a sort of Washingtonian style like personality cult around our prime minister, except that, around our first prime minister, except that he was so wasted that it's kind of like, it doesn't feel good because like he's just like, he was just like, he kind of sucks, I guess. Yeah. So there you go, right? I'm gonna actually start eating. Oh yeah, we did create the, we did do the telephone too. So thanks kids on their like kind of smartphone, like also like BlackBerry was kind of one of the first like smartphone-ish things, right? Like BlackBerry, I think, paved the way for the kind of paved the way for the modern smartphone. So like both like the telephone in general and like the sort of like weird smartphone-y kind of like, you know, just scrolling addiction, like, you know, bullshit stuff, like the short form like media things that like the smartphone like introduced, right? Like I'm not blaming it for like live streaming, because like in fact you can watch live streams on a desktop platform, right? But yeah, we gave rim jobs to the world. That was, in fact, I think, I did speak to somebody who worked at RIM, who was inordinately proud of the fact that their careers page was like RIM, I guess like, was it rim.ca/jobs or something? Or like rim.com/jobs, I think. At the time, now it's BlackBerry, but like they're like, ha tee hee hee, our jobs are rim.com/jobs. Oh yes, we do have a whole bunch of like thorium. We also figured out that the neutrino has mass. That was another thing that you get from Ontario. So nobody knows anything about Ontario. Ontario has like negative amounts of like cultural like kind of presence, right? Yeah, there is a jobs TLD. I don't think there was at the time. I think they changed their name. I think they changed their name to BlackBerry before the .jobs TLD was a thing, and after the BlackBerry phone was like irrelevant, basically, right? Like, so they like, it's very funny that they like don't do BlackBerries anymore. Like, there are no more BlackBerry phones, and they are now no longer known as RIM, and they're now known only as BlackBerry, right? I'm gonna eat a little bit of it. I'm gonna munch a little bit, so I'm gonna take a moment. What do the government people use now then? Apparently insecure signal groups they add random journalists to for no reason. I mean, I'm not wrong, right? Hey, at least it's Signal. Could be worse. Instantly, I was looking at this. I was like noticing, like, I don't know when this happened, but like every in my like Twitch chat window, every chatter, every message in chat like just permanently has the you know, the icons for like to click on to be like ban, time, warn, timeout, delete. I don't think that was a thing before. I think you actually had to like click on the message first to get that menu up, but now it's just like it's a Insta button that you can like click on anything and like ban, warn, timeout, or delete. And it's like every single like time somebody chats in chat, like it comes with like an arsenal of weapons like pointed at both the chatter and the message. It's like, it's a very funny thing. It'd be like if you it's like that like scene in Undertale where you're crossing the bridge and then like the enormous like gauntlet of weapons shows up, and also Toby Fox on a rope like dangling from the top in dog form. So yeah, I think we can move on to the game segment. I did want to kind of like poll people and be like, I want to try a Shenzhen game. Like, sorry, not Shenzhen, excuse me. I've cocked it up already. I've like, you know, screwed up the poll. I want to try a Zachtronics game, and I'm trying to decide between Shenzhen and Opus Magnum, or maybe some other one. I don't know. Magnum Opus, whatever the thing is. So Anybody have opinions? If nobody's actually like heard of or played these games before, then that's one thing. But I think I'm gonna like try these. Let's see. Maybe I start with Opus Magna. The other option is like something like Infiniminer or something. Fillion has Canadian ancestry? How did she get screwed over? Also, it wasn't postponed? Like, the only thing that has happened, I think, is, like, the only thing that has happened is that it has gotten more permissive, and also, you can work a remote job from Canada, so I don't understand, like, there's no... They didn't take it away, though. It's still... It didn't... It's... Hold on, they did not take it away recently. It is as existing as it has been. Like, it just became law that, I mean, the only possible exception is if she was born after like 2025, except that she's obviously not, right? Like, so no, they did not take away any ancestry law. It is in fact now legislatively correct and not just court correct, I guess, that like if you have any Canadian ancestry, then you can be Canadian. So yeah, no, they did not repeal anything. And she would not have been like screwed over by it because it did not actually roll back anything. It only sort of allowed more people to be Canadian. I know because I have actually been like working with a couple of people on this behind the scenes. Also, I don't know where this like Canadian thing comes from. I don't think that I have no idea where this is coming from. Anyway, I'm not gonna get sniped by this. So you found the Opus Magnum was infuriating, or just all of them in general are infuriating? Opus Magnum is the alchemy puzzle game. Yeah. I can play it, I guess. Noida is also an alchemy puzzle game. I don't think that's that's Zachtronics. Here, let me I feel like insane and do not understand it is actually like a pretty good positive like plus for yeah, that's the other thing. I thought Noida was like a weird platformer where you like mix together like insane stuff, and like it's not like you have there's not like the same sort of puzzle thing where you like have a thing and then you have like a win condition or whatever, right? Like I guess the other thing that I could do is like the BBS thing. Tell you what, I think what we're going to do is in 3 minutes there's gonna be an ad break. I'm gonna throw up a poll for Opus Magnum or Shenzhen IO. And oh yeah, no, there's tons of logic going on, but like there's like a way in which it's like not the sort of like self-contained, like I'm being a little bit of a purist here. I'm not saying that it's not a puzzle game, right? It's just like it's not the sort of like weird purism puzzle, like kind of like, you know, highly deterministic feeling itch sort of thing, right? That like something like Opus Magnum is. This is actually like the reason that I am bothered by some of the boss levels in like Space Chem, because it's like, oh yeah, these are kind of non-deterministic. It is an alchemy puzzle game. That's fair. I should play it at some point. Hold on. Game. Let's throw Last Call BBS into there. All right. We'll throw this as a 5-minute poll. It'll end sometime after the ad break. And then we'll see. They do fill a specific niche. I'm just curious. Like, I've actually played only Space Chem, I think. And Space Chem kind of was, like, very close to, like, scratching a certain kind of, like, itch for me. And then I'm, like, looking at the other games, I'm like, you know what? I think, like, these might actually, like, possibly, like, if it was just, like, a little bit in a different place on my, you know, game feel back, I guess, like the sort of scratching might actually just hit the spot exactly. But I think like Space Chem was just like slightly off of that spot. So I want to give it like a good other try just to see whether it's like, okay, well, was it like that the game was like, you know, scratching my game itch in the wrong place? Or is it like that Zachtronics in general is like, is it like what I want, or is it not what I want? And I want to see it because like these games are beloved, right? Like, you know, it's got a really high like Steam review score, but, and, you know, I have a lot of friends who seem to play them and enjoy them. So like, you know, I'm gonna see how it is. Right. And then, you know, and we also got an ad break coming. And so I'm gonna throw to ads and then we'll see. All right. 5, 4, 3. I'm so sorry that the ads are like an inevitable thing on Twitch. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys after the ad break. Later. All right, hello, welcome back. It looks like if we do not get another vote in the next couple of minutes that we will just have the, oh, fuck. Okay, all right. All right, fine. Somebody is tied up at the game. Cool, all right, we got it. Opus Magnum, 2-1. I've never played this game before. Let's see. There we go. Excuse me? It's... what? Hold on. Is this, I'm so confused. I'm trying to figure out whether this is like some sort of like ancient tech thing that is improperly capturing my game. I will try to do this instead. All right. All right. Cool.